What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Nash. It's been a while, but I'm back. So today I'm going to be answering some of the questions that I've seen over the past couple of weeks in the comments. So I just went ahead and picked 10 random questions, and I'm going to be answering those for this video. But if you have any more questions that I missed, make sure to leave them under this video so I can include them in my next video. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so the question is, how long have you been in your position? So I'm assuming that you're asking how long have I been working in my current position. So the job I'm working right now is a premium analyst. I've been working this job since I graduated from college, which was back in May of 2020, I believe. Yeah, May of 2020. And I actually started working a month before I graduated. So I guess it's been like a year and 3-4 months. But that's how long I've been working as a premium analyst at my current job. And the next one is going to be, what about when they test you on your skills in an interview? Have you experienced that? So they're essentially asking, sometimes you go to an interview and they actually want to test your skills, your abilities to do the job. And I've actually been through something similar to this where I was applying for a business analyst position. And essentially during the interview, they gave us a case study and they were asking, how would you fix this problem, right? And most of the time when they're asking you this question, they're trying to see how you solve problems, right? Because when it comes to solving business-related problems, there are steps that you have to take. You have to gather information. So most of the time, they're not looking for, the correct answer or the right answer. They're just looking for how you solve problems, how you approach a problem, how you solve it. And if you don't know how to solve it, how do you solve it? How do you ask for help? If you are in a similar situation like that, you go for a job interview and then, maybe they put you in a group of people and they ask you to solve a case, right? They're going to be looking for your ability to work with the team, your ability to communicate with other people, your ability to listen to people when they give you suggestions, and also your ability to solve the problem. They're looking for a lot of things, but most importantly, they're looking for how do you solve problems, right? What is your thought process when you're faced with a problem? All right, so the next question is, would you say you had enough time for a part-time job while attending? So I'm assuming while I was attending college, did I have enough time to work a part-time job? All right, so here's something interesting. So I've actually been doing internships since I was a sophomore in high school. So my sophomore year, I actually had a programming internship at a startup company, which was really great. And they introduced me to finance. That's how I ended up in finance. It's a long story. But every single year I've been interning. I've interned at a lot of companies. And throughout college, I was at an internship while I was taking classes. So did I have enough time? I would say no, but you make time for things that you really want to do. So if you get an internship that says, work 15 hours a week, right? You're going to find 15 hours a week. And the cool thing about college is that most of the time you pick your own classes. You get to make your own schedule. And one of the things I did was that I would take Tuesday and Thursday classes, right? So I was taking about 5 classes per semester. So those classes, I was able to put them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I would use Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays to do my internship. So you can take Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday classes, and you can intern Tuesdays and Thursdays, or you can take early morning classes and you can go to your internship later on. So a lot of these internships that you take during the semester, maybe fall or spring semester, they're going to be willing to work with you. Most of them are going to work around your schedule because they do realize that you're in school. And if you didn't have the education, they will not hire you. So they're going to respect the fact that you're in school. Most of the time, it's going to be up to you how you use your free time. So if you value your internships, you're going to make time for them. The next one is going to be, is it too late to start a finance degree at 26? So it's never too late to educate yourself. So if you are 26, I'm assuming that you probably have a job. And I'll recommend doing it online, or maybe taking some night classes if you have a job where you don't have to work during the night. But I recommend just do it online. There are a lot of great colleges that have online programs where you can still work your job and, take classes. So that's what I recommend, but it's never too late if you want to go for it. I mean, that goes for anything. Unless you're going to major in art, don't go to major in art at 30 years old. Don't do that. Even if you're 18, don't do art. But not that there's anything wrong with art, but just don't do it. The next one is going to be, I changed my major from nursing to business, accounting and finance. I'm trying to see what I should major or minor in, like what routes should I take. I love your videos and definitely help me out a lot. Thank you so much for that. So you switched your major from nursing to business. Here's a fun fact. I actually used to want to be a nurse back when I was a senior in high school and actually interned in an emergency room. And this was over the summer. I realized that I did not want to work in the hospital, so I ended up being a business person. So now back to your question. So you're asking, you don't know what routes to take. You just know you want to do finance and accounting. Most schools, if you are majoring in business, right? Let's say accounting or finance, they're going to allow you to take a lot of the business classes, right? So you can go from accounting to, finance, investments. You can go to statistics. You can go to, there's so many routes that you can go. And one thing I always recommend is, after you take those classes, find the classes that you love, that you enjoy the most, right? And I just focus on those, right? So if you let's say, it's your first year as a finance student and you take like an investment classes, you take an accounting class, you take statistics class, you take a business operations class, and then you realize that you like the investing stuff more. I would just focus on that. You could take more investment classes. You have opportunities to pick the classes you want as electives. I would just focus on that. And also, I would go online to find some free courses online. I did a video a little while ago on where you can find a lot of business courses for any subject that you want to do in business. You can find a course on that website. I'm going to link the video in the description below so you can reference that video. But essentially, I recommend taking courses online and seeing if you actually enjoy, learning about those things. Because the last thing you want to do is go to college for something you don't really care about, because you're not going to allow yourself to learn as much as you can because you don't really care about it. So I recommend, take some free courses online, watch some videos on YouTube on people that actually do it. You can watch, a day in the life. There's so many of those videos. I made one myself. I'm going to link it in the description below. This is going to allow you to have some kind of an insight when it comes to what the people actually do. And, a lot of people do a lot of explanation. I know I did a lot of explanations in my video. So if you want to see that, it's going to be in the description below. But I recommend, just exploring, talk to people, network, talk to people that are working in those positions, or reach out to people on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great platform that allows you to connect with people. But yeah, so that is pretty much it for that question. The next one's going to be, hi Nash, I just wanted to ask if you have your CFA or not. No, I did not have my CFA, and I don't think I'm ever going to get a CFA, because I think if you're going to go that route, I don't know why you'd want to get a CFA. Maybe you just want to have that certification for something. But I think an MBA is so much better when it comes to, if you want to compare the two. And if you really look into the big companies, right, the executives, the people that are the CEOs, CFOs, directors, things like that, you're going to see that most of these people have an MBA. And some of them have an MBA and a CFA. But most of the time, you're never going to find someone that has just, a bachelor's degree and a CFA. So not that there's anything wrong with having a CFA, because it is going to help you, especially if you're working as an, financial advisor, or if you're an analyst and you have your CFA. It is something that looks great on your resume, something that, especially if you're working with customers, you're going to be able to show that you actually know what you're doing just because you have that certification. But I recommend an MBA before you get a CFA, or get both. Both is better, but MBA is way better. Now, the next question is going to be, just finished my year of undergrad. What a ride. Would you say it's best to start applying for internships right away? Should I take time to educate myself more during and after the year? I appreciate the work from Keep It Up. Thank you so much. All right, so when it comes to internships, one thing to remember is that when you're doing an internship, it's not because you know what you're doing. It's because you're trying to learn, right? You're trying to educate yourself on the position, the corporate world, or whatever company, you're learning. It's learning. So they never expect you to know anything really. So I would say apply for internships as soon as you can. I was interning when I was a sophomore in high school. So I always recommend applying as soon as you can, even your freshman year. If you can find an internship or a part-time job that's related to what you want to do, this is going to help you. This is also going to help you make, better decisions as to what you really want to do. All right, so interesting fact. I actually used to want to be an accountant when I was a freshman in college because my mother is an accountant. And, I took a couple of classes. I enjoyed it. It was really interesting. So I got an internship working in accounting, even though the work was super interesting at first because I was getting introduced to a lot of the things and a lot of the processes that are used. I realized that it was so repetitive. So that is when I realized I wanted to focus more on finance. So that is why I recommend doing an internship as soon as possible, because this is going to allow you to really, really know what you like and what you don't. And you're going to be able to make decisions sooner, because imagine doing an internship your junior year in college and you're about to graduate. You have a year left in college and you realize, I don't really like doing this work. Now you switch your major. It might add some more years. Now you're in college for 4, 5, 6 years, right? The next question is, I want to do finance, but I'm bad at math. I wouldn't say you have to be great at math. You just have to be, know the basics, algebra. You'll be fine with that. You just understand the basic algebra. You're going to be fine. And most of the time, you don't really do the math by hand. We have tools that we can build to do the math for us, right? You can literally Microsoft Excel. Any type of math you want to do, it'll do it for you. Even though you can use tools like Microsoft Excel to build a model that calculates that formula, you do have to understand how it works. That's why I say you have to understand the basics. But you don't have to be a genius. Anyone can do it. And the next question is, what is your current job position and how many hours a week do you work in your current position? All right, so I work as a premium analyst. The video is going to be in the description below if you want to learn a little more about what I do. And the second part of the question is, how many hours do you work in a week? So this just depends really on the workload, right? With any job, there are times when you get really busy, and then there are times when you just don't have too much work to do. So on the days that I don't really have, the weeks I don't have a lot of work to do, or I just don't have too much work to do, 40 hours a week, easy. But most of the time, I always have a lot of projects going on, a lot of things that are time sensitive, a lot of things that clients need, a lot of requests, to do this, do that. When you have a lot of those things, it's super easy to go past 40 hours without even realizing it. And, I don't do 80 hours. It doesn't get to that extreme. And the last question is, how many hours a week were you studying on average? Also, thank you for the video. Super helpful. And you did great. Thank you. So how many hours a week was I studying? So like I said before, I had an internship when I was in college. I was taking classes Tuesdays and Thursdays, I believe, my senior year. And Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I was using those to do the internship and studying as well. So I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not a huge fan of studying. So I didn't do a lot of studying in college. I would study the night before the exam. Not that I recommend doing that. I don't know if this is a thing, but I have great short-term memory. So if I read a page, right, or I study something, I'm going to be able to remember that for the next, 48 hours. Clearly, I can picture it in my head. I don't know what that is, but that's what I would do. I would organize everything that I needed to study for the exam or the quiz, and I would just study that the whole day or the whole night. When it comes to studying, I know there's a lot of people that say you need to study an average of 5 hours, 6 hours, or whatever. But I feel like people are very different when it comes to how they retain information. So for me, in order for me to remember something, I have to do it within, the past couple of days, right? So I'm not going to study for an exam that's 2 weeks away today. I want to study a couple of days leading to the exam. Most people need those 2 weeks to study, right? You can try studying the night before an exam. Not that I recommend that, really dangerous. Or you can do it a week before. You can do it a month before. You can do it, however you want to do it, and find what works for you and just run with it, and you're going to have a great time. But that is pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for these questions. Now, if you have more questions for the next video or whenever I do this again, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. And also follow me on Instagram at GoatNash if you have any questions. And I post there pretty much daily. And I think I'm pretty funny. I don't know. But I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to go and hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.